Hello farmers and welcome back to Farming Simulator 25 on Pichonniere Valley. It's August. It is now raining. At the end of yesterday's stream, I said I was going to come on here, which was now last night, to do a little bit more of the pea harvesting off camera because I was going to take a while with what we had. And I harvested until the rain came, and that's where we currently are. So if we just run over here, you can kind of see we don't have, I actually got most of it done. And I was going to stop pretty soon because I did want to do a little bit more pea harvesting with you guys here today. I actually kind of want to finish off this section before I got to the tram lines so we could do the rest. Because that's still about maybe 10 minutes worth of work of harvesting with the handheld push harvester. Which my peas are getting wet. But of course it's raining, so I stopped and we got more work to do anyways. I got until, I think, the end of September to harvest those peas, so yeah, it's not like a push, and to get that done today, I mean today in the month of August, and also the pea price is not near the peak, but we got other work to do, so we're going to get to that here very shortly. Hello Bob, welcome, hope you're having a good Tuesday. Appreciate you being here. So the first thing we're going to do is I did make some bales of straw, and those need to be put away. Well, they need to be taken out the field, but right now I got silage bales. Are these fermented? They should be fermented. They are. So we can go ahead and put those in the shed. I'm just trying to figure out. I think I want the Fent. That's the Kubota. Where did I leave my Fent? I have no idea where my Fent is. Oh, the Fent's over here to do some straw baling. But I don't think I want to do the straw baling in the rain right off. So let's go pick up the straw bales there in the field that I need to get work done in. And that is, I need to plant some canola today. So let's scooch over here. Get between there and there. That's good. Yeah, so the silage bales, yes, those are for the moo cows. Speaking of the moo cows, I probably need to make some TMR for them. Nope, that's the back side of the trailer. Alright, there we go. Sorry everybody to say, didn't realize I was streaming. No worries. The boar is in our grass field. But the forester should be taking care of them, so it won't be damaging our crop. Can you turn tightly in here? Yes, we can. Alright, and these need to go in here. I need to make some more hay bales. I'm actually thinking when I cut the grass in October, I may do all hay in all 3 fields. Let's go ahead and unload these into here. While these are kind of unloading, what is the rain going to stop? I mean, it's going to stop at some point. Oh, not until, well, nighttime, basically. So, I think we go ahead and get the straw bales off the field where the canola needs to go and just plant. Planting in the rain, not the best thing to be doing, but I want to get it planted in August. Also, you can see the money situation, not great. So hopefully our drill has enough seed and fertilizer in it, so I don't have to buy any. Waiting for September to roll around so I can sell the butter at a better price. Is Wickham Park a PC only map? Can't find it on console. That I don't know. Could not tell you on that. I would have thought it would have been on all platforms. Except here's the straw bales. These straw bales will be sold. Not today, because the price is, I think when I checked yesterday, I think straw is going for like 33 bucks. Which is pretty much on the low side because we are at peak harvest time, so I would assume every farmer and their wife's cousin's daughter, uncle, is selling straw at the same time. That's why the price is as bad as it is. Let's go ahead and get this field cleared. Usually I put down fertilizer before I plant, but I think this field has a lot of fertilizer in it. Yeah, so I don't want to prep the field with fertilizer because it's already got a good amount of fertilizer in it. So we're just going to pick up these straw bales and come in here and plant our canola. And again, we want the canola to make oil so we can keep on making mayonnaise. Hello, Logan. Welcome. Hope you're having a nice Tuesday. Let me grab this bale right here, and that should be off of this field. Yep, looks good. But I will check for you, Bob, to see about Whitcomb Park Farm, to see if that's on... What platform is that on? I would have thought that's on all platforms. Okay, let me just go to mods here. Category, European map. I think it's a European map, right? It's got to be a European map. Where is it? Is it a fictional map, maybe? Might just have to search for it. Or if anyone else knows if Whitcomb Park Farm is available on consoles. Why is it not there? Alright, I'm struggling a little bit to even find it. Maybe I am spelling it wrong. I can't even find the mod itself. Well, no, it's the way they do maps. People do maps on real live areas. If it's a map, if it's a made-up map like No Man's Land or that's, you know, it's kind of based in the region, but it's considered a fictional map. Maybe when more people get in here, we can ask if Whitcomb Park Farm is on all consoles. I haven't even really seen... I know a few people asked me to play on it. I know it's a popular map. I haven't even seen a video or anything on it. But I usually tend to end up playing on maps that are not the most popular ones. Because then everyone, you know, most content creators go to the most popular ones and play them. Then I feel like the gameplay is kind of saturated on it. Although it is kind of fun to see how each individual player will play on a map. I hope I got enough to get this field done, because I don't have any money currently. I mean, I can go sell some stuff. But I'd rather not if we don't have to. Oh, that's why I can't find Wickham. Wickham map is not on the mod hub. That's why I can't find it on the mod hub. Hello, Miles. Welcome. Hope you're having a wonderful Tuesday. Well, as they kind of say, it's raining on my parade, but work has to continue, and since in the game, drilling in the rain doesn't matter, we will drill our canola in the rain. Since it's going to rain the rest of the month. I mean, I only play 1 day per month anyways, but it's going to rain all the way until dark. Yeah, looking at the field in the upper left-hand corner, if I were to have prepped this field with some more slurry or manure, I think I would have over-fertilized the field again. So if it's a third party mod, I would assume that it's only available on PC. I mean, I haven't had a console for ages, but I don't know how you would download a mod from a third-party website and put it onto a console. And thanks for the info, branding. I did not realize that it was on a third-party website only. So after I get this field drilled, I think I have another field that I need to put canola in. So I'll probably just go over and plant that one as well. If I got enough seed and fertilizer left in the drill. It's a small field. So we'll finish up the pea harvesting in September, I guess. We'll sell our butter to get some money into the bank account, and then we can start taking our new field, if you will. We'll do some soil sampling to see where the better soil is, but we kind of got an idea anyways. And we'll start getting the field prepped for putting down the farmhouse and looking at probably going to have to plow the field as well, what's left of it, and get it prepped for sugar beet next year and also the grapevines as well. Yeah, it looks like at the rate we're using the seed and fertilizer, I think I'll get this field done, and I should be able to get the other field done. The other field should not have any straw in it, because that was mustard that was in there. So I was looking at some games last night, especially the ones I have on my wish list. And I found out that the third story to A Plague Tale, that game will get released in like late August. So it looks like in the month of August, we will be playing the first and second storyline of A Plague Tale. And that way we'll be all set when the third storyline comes out later in the month. I know when I say late August, it sounds like it's far away, but I mean, heck, we're already in June. I'm still stuck in like April. My brain still thinks, oh, April. And we got the month of May. It's like, no, April and May are gone, dude. We're in June already. Oh, that's right. Also, last night I was going to look more at the DLC that's coming out in the next month. And I forgot to read about it. But after yesterday's stream, I had to head out to, had to go to say hello to my friend Chris. It was his birthday yesterday. So I spent a little time with him. Then I came, when I got done with that, I went outside and fixed my lawnmower. That was another thing that needed to be fixed around the house, and I finally got to mowing the lawn a little bit. It's one of those things where, all right, I need to fix this thing, and you go out and fix it, and then you realize you get that part fixed, and while you're fixing it, you realize, well, now that you fixed that, you found out that, well, this needs to be replaced as well. So I got more parts on order for the mower. Hopefully they'll be here at the end of the week. My lawn's looking a little rough. Is it Sky Farming a new manufacturer? I don't know if they're. I don't know what you mean by that. I mean, it's they're a real manufacturer. I don't know when they. I don't know much about the company itself. How did it go harvesting the peas last night? I think I spent another like 45 minutes getting as far as I did. I just harvested until the rain came, but we got about maybe 10 more minutes of harvesting of the peas to get to, which we'll have to wait until after it rains. But that's going to be September before I get that far. But we'll pretty much see when I get done harvesting the peas, we'll see the hour meter on the harvester. I think I guessed an hour and a half it was going to take me to do that entire field, and it's going to be maybe just a little bit over that. But an hour and a half to harvest that field is not too bad. But again, I think it's one of those novelties, for me anyways, on the push, the hand tool mod. Where at first it feels like it's going to be a lot of fun, but I can see after a while, especially on a field that size, I wouldn't want to do it over and over again. Maybe on a smaller farm it'd be fine, but I think after a while I would get tired of the hand tools. I think it's just regular for me in Farming Simulator. I don't want to be doing one particular job for more than a half an hour. If I do it for a half hour straight, then it's like I need to move on to a different job and I'll come back and finish it up. I mean, the hand tool mod is a great mod for using on smaller farms or fields. But we'll be using that harvester for our sugar beet. So yesterday was a pretty much a rush type stream, in a fact of we had a lot of work to get done in the time that we had. And the thing is, we got more planting to do. All of our fields will be planted in the fall, looks like. Yeah, definitely beat spending $500,000 on a pea harvester. Especially that $500,000 for that pea harvester seems way overpriced for the working width and the capacity that it holds and all that. Well, of course there's a pea harvester in the game. It costs over $500,000. But since I'm only harvesting peas that one time, I'm not spending $500,000 on a pea harvester. Hello, Miles. When you say aloha, I was thought you were going to say something like Honolulu or something like that. I actually want to see the pea harvester. I mean, of course there's a pea harvester in the game. That's why they got the peas in the game, but there's the pea harvester. We used it before. Actually, it's almost, well, it's $571,000 for that pea harvester. And no, it doesn't do any other type of crops. That's for peas and peas only. My biggest gripe about that pea harvester, though, is, I don't know if you want to call it the auger, but the belt on that machine. It's kind of hard to get a trailer positioned next to it. You can't use like a really large trailer. Not that you need to, because I think the capacity of that harvester is only like 4,000 liters. But it is rather hard to unload from that harvester into a most trailers. Got to use like a small Rudolph trailer, really, for that kind of a harvester. Mine is always and why it's just across the water from us. Just across the water? Not sure I would say just across the water. I would say if you're standing on the shore and you can't see it. I'm not sure I would say just across the water, but yeah. I mean, like when Americans refer to England, I think when England even refers to America, we say across the pond. It's one heck of a pond, but... So it looks like I'll have enough canola and fertilizer to get both fields done. And when I get both fields done, I may go bale up that straw. Yeah, I'll probably bale up the straw this month. I don't want to leave it for September, because September we'll have 3 more fields to drill. I think we're doing winter wheat and barley in the other 3. So, of course, this field will have weeds in it next month. Although, wait a minute. The fields that I drill, we're not getting weeds. If I hire a worker, we get weeds. So, I should get weeds in this field next month, but it'll probably be very little. You're affected by the Pineapple Express weather. Never heard that term used before, but, you know, as they say, you learn something new every day. So really, checking the store sale page, don't need to be doing that anymore. First thing, I don't have any money to buy anything. But 2, now we gotta save up our money for the farmhouse, the productions for doing all the wine work. So that's where the money's gonna go, and I'm not gonna find that stuff on the sale page. That would be kind of interesting if they had that like on the sale page, like for a limited time only, you could put down this production for like 30% off. Actually, before I go over and drill the next field, I probably should jump into the Kubota. And I need to load up the peas that are sitting in crates into the back of the trailer. When I do get done with the pea harvest, those peas will be going on down to the train station. And we'll put it into that silo there. And we'll wait for the peas to be at a max price. Since the only place we can sell peas on this map is via the train, so they might as well go on down to that silo. That pea field that we bought yesterday, that was $120,000 or so. I didn't really care about the peas being in there. I wanted the field because that's where the farmhouse is going to go. But I rushed the purchase of it because I was like, well, the peas are ready for harvest. Why not buy it with a crop that's ready for harvest and get some of my money back on buying the field? I'm just going to confirm that this is the other field I want to put canola in. This is field number 16, and we had mustard in it last. So if we find field 16, mustard, yeah, canola, 115% yield it should be. So, yep, definitely want to put canola in here. Let's go ahead and turn that off. And now we're going to jump over to here. And we'll start loading up the peas that were harvested during yesterday's stream and after yesterday's stream. All the pallets should be right here. So when is the best price for peas again? It says, well, December. But I mean, actually, the price of the peas is not that bad now. At 10.62, the peak is at 11.43. This reminds me back in the day when we were on Riverbend Springs and we had all the pallets of wood chips down at the sawmill. So I'm guessing I'm going to have somewhere a little over 20,000 liters of peas off this field. And we'll just round it, the number down to $1,000 for 1,000 liters of peas, give or take. I would estimate we're going to get about $30,000 worth of peas off this field, which is not bad, since the only thing I did was buy the field. Kind of good that we can just unload the pallets right into a trailer like this. If I had to, I could grab the John Deere and use the pallet forks. Did I get all the pallets behind me? Yep. We close enough for the other one? We are. I think we'll get the whole field in one trailer. Alright, that's picked up. Alright, it was a little bit of break from drilling, so let's go ahead and get the drilling done. This field here probably could have used a little bit of fertilizer first. This one needs a lot of fertilizer. Also needs some lime as well. Let's go ahead and we'll grab that Kubota. Actually, you know what? We'll use the Mercedes. Also, while I'm here, let's give the cows a little bit more TMR. And we will go grab the slurry spreader, which I parked somewhere. Oh, it's not there. Where did I put that thing? Did I leave it over? It's a tanker with a big sprayer on. Oh, it's over. Okay, I see it now. Looks like I was going to spray this field over here next, but I think that's got straw bales in it. It does. Alright, well, you know what? We'll spray that field too. Well, let's go pick up the straw bales in that field. And the fields that need lime in it will have to do that in September when I sell the butter and get some more money back in the account. They're getting bogged down by the wet soil. One more bale. Alright, let's get some slurry into that field, then we'll go back over where I'm planting canola. It'll save us on solid fertilizer. Well, yeah, that, selling the peas, are, it's going to be nice to see a little bit of income flow on in. And if it wasn't for having the same harvester as the sugar beet, I probably wouldn't have done it, honestly, because then I would feel like I'm just buying a harvester just for the peas. But even now, a couple $1,000, that's pretty darn good of a profit. Can I see where I've been with a slurry in the rain? Not really. And this is why the Mercedes I don't use that much in working in the fields. Manual transmission. It's going to keep shifting back and forth. So if I bring up the mini map in the bottom left hand corner, it's much easier to see where we have been, so I can use that as a guide. Alright, so I'm going to have to refill this a couple times for this field, but I'm in no rush. Actually, I may go do the other field first with the tanker. That way you can get that drilling done this month. If I have to wait until next month to do the spraying in that field, we were just saying that's fine. Oh, that's the milk. We don't want the milk in the slurry tanker. We want to be here. And the cow barn's almost full of slurry again. 500,000 liters is what it holds. So you can see where the drill's been. A nice dark green color. That's how much fertilizer we were using. So this will help us reduce how much we were using there. And this is why I want to keep the Mercedes, but I'm keeping it around to do contract work where I can hire a worker and they can deal with the shifting up and down. Or just leave it around the yard to move equipment here or there, or to feed the cows with the TMR mixer. Well, at least I'll get most of the headland done here. I don't have to get every little square inch of the field done, just as long as we cover a good amount of the field here. Yeah, for the grapes, depending on how many grapes I have, I probably am going to use, right now I'm looking at using the machines, not the hand tool. But if I have very limited amount of grapes, then I might use the hand tool. I want to put down the production so I can see the recipe itself to see exactly how much of what it calls for is going to be more grapes and sugar, which I would think it would be. But sometimes with production buildings, you never know. Son, you're not going to make that corner. I can barely see the difference in the texture in the ground of where I have and have not been. Yeah, the tractor's sinking in the ground quite a bit with the ground deformation in the rain. I may call this good enough when I run out of slurry. But looks like I might get the majority of it done. Well, didn't quite get it all done. You know what? I'm going to come back and get it done. I got tons of slurry, and I don't want to... It'll suck it to get near the end of planting this field and run out of solid fertilizer. There's a mod pack for the mini productions. Well, the thing is, yeah, I realize that's probably for like the base game productions, but we're putting down a winery. We're gonna be making wine, and I'm guessing that mod pack does not have a mini wine production. And again, we're just doing the wine just for the heck of it. I mean, in theory, I've done everything I wanted to on this map when I started here. Now I'm just doing stuff just for... I hate saying for the fun of it, because I've been having fun on this map the entire time we've been here, but now we're just kind of like, maybe goofing around is the best way to put it. It's one of those things where I really don't care if the wine production is slow-ish. If I make a good profit on it, get my money back on it. It's just we're gonna put it down and see what it's all about and have fun with it. Pick up juice. Personally, I can't stand wine. Or I haven't found the wine to my tasting, but I've had wine many times. Well, I shouldn't say many times, but every time I've had it, I just don't care for it. I love grapes, though. I like grapes, I like raisins. But wine, not so much. I'm more into the hard liquors, like the tequilas, the vodkas, the rum, some gin now and then, depending on what you mix it with. Alright, we're just going to top off the tankers when I go to the other field in September. All right, let's jump back into the drill. Well, not the drill, but the Fent. All right, this will save us on how much fertilizer we use. There you can see the ratio in the upper left-hand corner is not as a big margin as before. When it comes to the hard liquor, yeah, I've tried it all. Not that big of a fan of whiskey. That'd be like on a rare occasion. But again, if I have to rank my hard liqueurs, I would definitely go with vodka first, then tequila. Then I don't know, between rum and gin. I guess it all depends on the type of drink that I'm going to have. Kind of hard to see where we have been. The texture is kind of hard to tell the difference in some angles. I'm pretty much going to make it through the entire month of August with less than $1,000 in the pocket. But yeah, getting into rum, what a fun world to explore. Well, that's why pirates drank rum all the time, because they're always exploring. Tequila gives you a headache. I have never had a hangover from drinking too much hard liqueur. Beer, on the other hand, beer will give me a hangover. I'd rather drink 5 times as much hard liqueur over beer, because I know in the next morning with a hard liqueur, I'm not going to wake up with a hangover or feel ill or anything like that. I just don't know what it is about beer. I have like 3 or 4 bottles of beer, I'm probably going to wake up with a hangover. This is part of the stream. I need to say, please drink responsibly. Drink whiskey straight, no water. I don't. That's one thing I would never understand, like, here's someone order a drink and they put water into it. I'm like, why are you diluting it? Just have less of it. May not get any time in the month of August to get that straw baled. Yeah, it's only 5 o'clock in the afternoon. We got a couple more in-game hours. Might be able to get it done. I did quickly look at the mod hub today, and I can definitely tell that the amount of mods going on the mod hub are slowing down quite a bit, because I haven't checked on mods like a couple weeks. I think I only went back about 3 or 4 pages before I started seeing the mods I saw from like early last week or the week before. A lot of updates. I kind of skipped the updated mods because I feel like I would have. Of course, updated mods are mods that are already on the mod hub, and I'm assuming. Well, I've seen them before, so I kind of glance over those quickly. Yep, do hope that butter price is pretty good at first thing in the morning in September. Because I need to get to put some lime down in some fields. Obviously this drill's going to need a refilling, so I can start putting in the winter barley and wheat. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. In my house where we store those type of beverages, I guess I'll have to say I got myself an old clock, and I put it to where the clock just says 5 o'clock, and didn't plug it in or anything, so it wouldn't move. So I could always just point at the clock and saying, well, it's 5 o'clock. That clock always said 5 o'clock. Alright, so canola and canola. I don't know where that old thing, probably way back in the day, when I mean way back in the day, like 1700s, 1800s. I guess it was frowned upon to have drinks before 5 o'clock. We don't need the mini-map because we're going to be doing some straw baling. Yeah, don't know if my combine is going to fit in that shed or not. I'm kind of nervous trying to get it in there because if it doesn't quite fit backing up with the header trailer on the back. That's going to be kind of interesting. Turn on automatic drop, lower the pickup, turn on the baler, and almost had a full bale in there to begin with, so first bale coming out. Song by Mr. Jackson and Mr. Buffett. Yes, I am aware. It's been a while since I've heard that song, though. Nothing like doing straw baling in pouring rain. This is a good thing about having the bigger header. A lot less swaths to deal with. You want to plant poplar in a big field? I hope you got a mod for that. Yeah, I haven't done poplar since Riverbend Springs. And even the small, I had a small field and we were getting tons of wood chips. I've been to a few concerts concerts. I've been to some NASCAR races. I've been to a couple Major League ballparks. And I found out at a very young age, I'm not a big fan of going to crowded arenas. I find much more joy in my life by walking alone in the woods, honestly. Call me an introvert. Hello, Timmy. Welcome. Hope you're having a wonderful Tuesday yourself. And appreciate the good words there. I think when I wake up in September, we will be in the negative on the money because the production buildings are running. And of course, we got property maintenance to pay for. But yeah, we'll have not just the butter, but we should possibly have some mayonnaise, depending on that price. As I was mentioning earlier in the stream, I was fixing my lawnmower yesterday and finally got to mow my lawn for the first time in a little while. And some of these swaths here kind of look like the grass swaths I have on my lawn because that's how tall the grass was. It's been kind of a rough start to late spring, early summer for my outdoor equipment at my house. I had to get my chainsaw. Well, it wasn't nothing wrong with the chainsaw, but went to go use the chainsaw, and as I kept grabbing one chain after another, I realized they all need to be sharpened. So I was like, all right, well then I'll go on to a different project. Went to use the pressure washer. The seals were leaking. So I had to go order some seals for the pressure washer, and I was like, all right, I'll go mow the lawn. And my riding mower, was leaking oil from the engine onto the drive belts, which made it fun. And at that point, I threw my hands up in the air and said, I'm not touching another thing today. Slowly but surely, I'm getting all those taken care of and fixed. And way society is today, no way it would catch you going to a venue for a concert or anything for that matter. And also the way, obviously the way your viewing has changed from home entertainment centers, TVs and such. I mean, if you can watch something in 4K now, it's almost better to stay home. Yeah, I'm definitely, if you look up introvert in the dictionary, you probably see a picture of a peanut, aka me, because I'm at that point of just, yeah. Someone asked me, do you want to go somewhere? I ask, how many people are going to be there? And if you need to use more than one hand to count, then it's probably a hard no on my part of saying, nah, I'm good. Speaking of good, we are good on the straw baling. I say we get off the field, and me and Sam are going to call it a month here. This is where our old dairy production used to be, but now we own the one that's on the map. Let's see if I can... I think the combine can fit in there, but getting it out and turning before that shed might be an issue later on, but we'll worry about one thing at a time. Right now I'm just bringing it over so I can wash it off. So I used the combine only for an hour and a half the first year. Yeah, you almost don't need to leave the house for anything nowadays with Amazon, and I will never use, not that I can use it where I live, but like Uber Eats or DoorDash, I would never use those services. Never, ever. I don't want some stranger delivering my food. I don't know, you maybe thinking to yourself, well, you got strangers cooking it for you. Yeah, well, I don't want strangers putting it into their car of who knows what. Alright, so the combine has a home and the header has a home. But now that means I need another shed for like the dolly trailer and the bale trailer. The bale trailer, I mean, I can't, well, I used to be able to park it in here because the roof was high enough. But I can't park the bale trailer in here because it's too tall and clips that. And of course the dolly trailer, well, I'm not backing that into there. Oh, I probably need to move some eggs. Does the oil production need any eggs? Hello, Farmer Groot. Welcome. Hope you're having a terrific Tuesday. No, that's the oil mill. Mayonnaise. Eggs. You could take 4 pallets. And since I'm only grabbing 4 pallets, I don't have the weight on the back of this, so I don't know if that's going to be a problem or not. So again, this is going into our mayonnaise production. Oil and eggs make mayonnaise. Right, let's go and we'll put the weight on, and in September we'll be making some TMR. Do the cows need any bedding? They could use a bale, but they're good on food, and the chickens should be good on food. Well, let's grab a straw bale and put it in there for bedding. They got enough in there, but since I looked at it and know they could take one more bale, we'll throw it in there. You even get your groceries through Instacart? Where I lived, luckily there's not that many people. But even then, I try to go when I know there's not going to be that many people there. So I don't mind going to the grocery store and getting my own stuff. I got to get out of the house every once in a while, so I'm told. Alright, so the animals are taken care of, everyone's taken care of. Yeah, I gotta do a lot of lime spreading, it looks like. But it is going to rain in September, I do believe, too. So hopefully it's not raining first thing in the morning. Actually, it's supposed to rain September, October, November. It's going to snow in December, January, February. 40 days and 40 nights, it looks like, of precipitation falling. Sleeping till late. Sounds like I like staying at home. I do. I mean, I used to have a job where I drove around quite a bit. I used to drive about, I mean, which is more than average, so I'm not going to compare myself to a trucker. But I used to drive about almost 70 or 80,000 miles a year. 70 or 80,000 miles a year. So, yeah, I mean, I used to get around quite a bit. It is not raining. Is there going to be any rain? Okay, so it might have been raining through the early morning hours. No rain in the forecast. Let's get right on over to the pea harvest. I'm at negative $846, but that's fine. When you get into this, start this up. And let's get back to doing some pea harvesting. Oh yeah, how much is the butter this morning? That's what we want to see. $15.24 at the bar and grocery. All right, I need to go sell the butter now because that's way over. Well, not way over, but it's higher than the peak price from the previous year. But we'll do a little bit of the pea harvesting here. Some people love staying at home. I mean, I like going out in the woods. If that counts for anything. And when I mean I like going out in the woods, I don't mean like going on nature trails where everyone else is walking. I go... I mean, I'm in Vermont, so... yeah, I go in the woods. I've backpacked for 2 weeks up in Centennial, Wyoming, where you wouldn't think you would run into people up in the woods when you're doing that, but yeah, we ran into a couple of people now and then. Wife has arthritis, gotten worse. It's not being able to move too well. I mean, yeah, I mean, that's those services are great if you want to use them. I'm just for me, going grocery shopping for myself, I like to pick out my own food, I guess. Also like to see what's on special. Haven't tried this mod yet. Can you set a worker off on it? Yes, you can. I have not done so yet. The thing is, but branding may be able to tell us. I'm pretty sure it's going to work as a regular harvester. Obviously, this holds 1,600 liters of crop. So I'm guessing when the harvester is full, you're probably going to have to unload it into a pallet on the ground. I don't think the worker is going to unload the pallet themselves. I think you would have to, like a regular harvester. But I don't know, because when you unload it, you don't have to, this doesn't have to unload into a trailer. It's just going to spit out a pallet. So I'm not sure. And again, the only reason why I'm using this particular mod right here is because this is what I'm going to be doing for sugar beet. And on this Let's Play that I'm doing, I'm trying to restrict on not using high horsepower machines. So using like a root crop harvester or anything of that size there, it's kind of like a no-no for this series. And I don't want to be planting a whole bunch of sugar beet, just enough to get some wine made. And this harvester right here that I'm using will do sugar beet and also does peas. And I bought this field and it had peas in it, so it kind of worked out. So again, I'm kind of, we did an estimate earlier. It looks like I might have about $30,000 worth of peas off this field, and I paid 122 or something like that for it. So in a sense, I'm getting the field for like 90,000. Because I didn't do any work in this field. I didn't plant the peas. I didn't do anything for it. But you can see it got 1.5 hours on this harvester. So that's how long it basically took me to harvest this field with this push harvester. It's a pretty big field. Now, again, this is the kind of the great thing about the pea harvest that we're doing. If you want to compare the working width of this to the harvester, the working width isn't that much difference. And the working speed is almost the same. So, in a sense, I paid like just under $2,000 for this little push cart compared to, we just saw, $571,000 for the self-propelled one. Now let's go ahead and unload a pallet. Do I like FS25? Because you want recommend it and you think about buying it. I am never going to tell someone that they should or should not buy a game. Well, sometimes I will say they shouldn't buy a game yet. Uh, all I can do is, I mean, I can play the game for you, and you can kind of see if it's something that you would like to get involved in. But for the most part, if you ever see well, I shouldn't say this because some content creators will play games if they're getting paid to. But someone like myself, if I'm playing a game, it's because I like playing it. I'm not going to play it if I don't enjoy playing FS25. But so in short terms, do I like Farming Simulator 25? Yes, I do. I got like 1,500 hours into it. And I've been playing Farming Simulator series games all the way back to FS13. It's just one of those things that you got to look at yourself, depending on what package you want to buy for Farming Simulator 25. The way to look at games nowadays is, are you going to play enough hours to get your money's worth out of it? And everyone's going to value their money differently. I know some people will complain, like when big games come out and they got all these DLCs or whatever, and they say, "Oh, that game's $100." I'm like, well, okay, but I mean, if you're going to play 500 hours of a game you paid $100 for, that's a lot cheaper than going out on a night in the town in real life. So that's the way I look at it. But Farming Simulator 25 to me is a nice, relaxing game. You have a lot of options on the way to play the game. I guess the question would come down to, Roselli, is have you ever played previous Farming Simulator games like 22, 19, anything like that? Alright, so that is our pea harvest done. Again, for me, was it worth the money I paid for it? For the amount of hours I got into it? Yes, by far. For me, it was. Then you got someone like Branding who almost has 4,000 hours into it. That comment I made earlier about if you ever look up the word introvert in a dictionary, you might see a picture of a peanut. You might see a picture of Branding, 4,000 hours on it. Alright, so these peas, we're going to go bring these over to, because since I can only sell the peas via the train, I need to put it into that silo, which I think is here. So we're going to go put the peas in that silo, and they'll stay there until December. Careful going over the bridge with a dual-wheel tractor. That is another question I get asked quite a bit. What's my favorite map? I know the question wasn't directed at me, but it's one of those things. I can never pick out my favorite map. I think my favorite maps are the ones I'm just currently playing on. But I'm like that about like a lot of things. Someone will ask me, what's your favorite food to eat? I don't really have a favorite food. It's whatever I'm craving at the time. Same way with maps. What's your favorite map? I really don't have one. Trying to think if I used this silo before. Do I have anything in this silo? Where is this silo? Next corner, I think. Where is it? Here? No, that's not the way in. Probably should be driving third person. So I'm assuming this is a silo for the train. So, again, we can only sell peas via the train, so I should not get paid for putting these in here. They're just going to go into the storage. You got 55 hours on Rolling Farmlands of Michigan. I think we're at like 120 hours on this map here. Let's see, where am I at? Hours. 131 hours have I got in this one. Alright, go back to the farm. We got to grab the Fent and the dolly trailer. And we got to go to our dairy production and start getting the butter sold up at the bar. Because having negative $846 in the bank account is not looking good. So we should have somewhere around 100 grand by the time I sell the butter, I think. Can I give you some tips about the game? Well, again, Roselli, I'm going to assume at this point you have not played the game yourself. But I'm also going to assume you probably have watched some YouTube videos and got some information. But if you're brand new to the Farming Simulator experience, what I would recommend is if you decide to play the game, buy the game and play it. play on easy mode. So the difference between easy mode, normal mode, and hard mode, it just changes the pricing of the crops that you sell. So when you go sell something on easy mode, you get more money than if you would if you were on normal or hard. But playing easy mode, that way you get tons of money. That way you can just start buying things left and right and experiment with stuff, if you will. Probably also turn off a lot of the options until you get yourself familiar with the game and what does what for farming equipment. Unless you're a farmer yourself and you know what everything does and what needs to be done in what order. But I would say turn off like a lot of options for lime spreading, maybe fertilizing, turn off weeds, turn off rocks. That way you're just not, your brain is not overstimulated with so much to do and maybe not knowing what order to do things in. All right, throw these beacons on. All right, also another tip, maybe turn off seasonal growth. That way you can just plant. You can plant a crop whenever you feel like it. Not have to wait for certain months to come along. So I think this can hold 32 pallets. I'm sure we got more than that at the dairy production. Finally, that red car passed me. It's been like 3 times today in different locations. You're welcome, Roselli. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Again, all I recommend to new players is, if you're very unfamiliar with the game, just turn off a lot of the options until you get used to things one at a time. But I mean, if you've been watching people play Farming Simulator for years and you kind of see how they do it and what needs to be done, then turn them on as you see fit. So I do have a forklift right there, but we're going to auto load these because we just got so many of them. What's my best camera angle here? I guess there, I suppose. Hopefully I don't think I ran out. I kind of forgot to keep track of, let's see, 32 pallets. I think I was full. Because if I add 32 to that puts us nearly at 70,000 pallets. But we didn't backlog with that much milk. Trailer sometimes gets hung up because it doesn't straighten up fast enough. Like that. It's usually 50-50 if I get through. There we go. Alright, up to the bar and grill. We'll have to come back, get the rest of the butter. Stay away from the mods so you get to know things. Download all the mods. Mods will bring you into a rabbit hole. Or down the rabbit hole, as they say. I went my first 5.5 years in SnowRunner without any mods, and now, boy, I'm getting into them, and it's a scary thing. And speaking of SnowRunner, we'll be getting back into SnowRunner here, probably on Thursday and Friday. We got some more Season 17 things to get done. As I was informed last stream in SnowRunner that Season 18 is coming out at the end of this month. So I would like to finish Season 17. I mean, I'm behind a lot of seasons in SnowRunner, but if I can actually complete a season before the next one comes out, that'd be great. Yeah, the last spot I got for myself on SnowRunner, I need to transport some logs. And for some reason, SnowRunner, I could not find, unless I missed it. Well, I got one now. I couldn't find a tow-behind trailer that took short logs only. I'm pretty sure I skipped right past it. And then I went and looked at some mods off camera. And I found a good log trailer pack that we'll be seeing when I play SnowRunner on Thursday. At least that's my plan right now, is Thursday. For SnowRunner. Someone did ask if I post what I'll be streaming on what days. Yeah, when I first started streaming, it was pretty easy because I was doing nothing but Farm Sim 25. But now that I've gotten my fill of Farming Simulator 25 for the most part. Of course, we venture out to other games, and every once in a while I get a game thrown at me in my email. Or a game comes out that I was not aware of, and it's like, oh, I need to stream that instead. So I don't really... I have an idea what I want to stream for a week, but it always gets changed. Like I mentioned earlier today, I found out that the third story for A Plague Tale Innocence, or I guess the series is called A Plague Tale. The third story of that comes out in August, and I want to stream the first and second story before the third one comes out. That way, if no one's ever seen that series or doesn't remember the first or second story, we'll have an understanding when the third story comes out. But I think what I've been told, the third story of that, you don't really need to know the first two stories, but we're going to do them anyways. All right, so yeah, we're gonna be over $100,000 by the time I bring up the next load of butter. But now we got some money. So that field there probably could use some lime. And that's the good thing with precision farming, at least, is that we can put down lime on a field even after the crop has grown. I wonder why they allow us to do that, but not in the base game. Actually, I wonder, I'll have to have a look, because I don't remember, after we sell this butter. I wonder how much my farmhouse is. It's going to be the same one I used on New Hope, I think, with a swimming pool. I know one thing, the temperature outside must be getting rather high. Well, high-ish, and it is. Because it's starting to feel rather warm in my room here. Which is weird, because the other night, temperature dropped so low, I was shutting all the windows in the house because it got down to about 45 degrees. And now today it's going to be, well, right now it's already 82, so I expect it to get even warmer than that. So I think the order of doing thing is I got to get the farmhouse down first. Then I can sell the hobo hut, which is where we've been sleeping. So once I get rid of the hobo hut, I will have room for the winery. The winery is going to go roughly where the hobo hut is. Even though I would love to have the winery down now so I can see. I know what it requires for the recipe, but I don't know how much of each. Ah, look at that. Right next to it. We will get a full trailer. Just gotta wait for them to start spawning again. As long as I keep filling it up while they're spawning, we don't have to wait for the game to realize that the spot is empty. All right, that leaves how much butter left in storage? Almost 6. And those 5 there, so that's 11 pallets. All right, so also on here, mayonnaise. What is that looking like? Mayonnaise should be sold. $43.75. That's even at the highest point. So, all right, we gotta go sell the mayonnaise, which is also at the bar and grill. Oh, almost made it out. Trailer did clip. I think the biggest what the moment, No Man's Land 19, is when you was wanting to build your log cabin. I thought it was going to be a cozy little cabin, but ended up being a mansion. I do remember what that one looked like. I think that log cabin... Oh... I'm trying to remember the modder's name. I think that modder is from Wyoming, too. What's his name? Or what do they call themselves? That's going to drive me nuts now. No, I don't think it's Black Sheep Modding. Elk Mountain Modding? I think it's Elk Mountain Modding. Made that log cabin. Because they also... That, was that the series that had the Chevrolet pickup truck as well? No, that was on Pacific Northwest. I used that Chevrolet pickup truck. Is it Elk Creek Modding? Elk Mountain Modding? Darn it. It's something like that. Elk Mountain Modding or Elk Creek Modding. I used to get his mods off his Facebook page. But that was a nice log cabin. So looking at the prices of the butter, because this is going to put us over 100,000, and we just saw how much I'm going to get for the mayonnaise, which is over 100,000. I think I'll be able to afford our house here very soon. And we can move out of that hobo hut, which was an upgrade from the tent. That's one of the things, like I said, I like about this map. You can see we got just like an NPC walk path going alongside a pond or something like that. And by the way, this map is made by Black Sheep Modding, though. You also got someone walking over here by this pond. It's a well-detailed map. It's not like some maps where they put in all of the houses and sell points in like a corner of the map, and the rest of the map is all farmland. This map here is divided up very well of housing, pedestrians, AI traffic, and farmland. Most irritating part was wanting to buy Weeder. It took me 11 episodes before you got it. Well, you know, you got to bring the money in. I don't remember exactly how that went down, but I remember you say that something about a Weeder, and I don't remember why I waited. And I did not get the trailer in the bar and grill here. Oh no, I'm clipping on the edge of that somehow. Okay, this is where super strength is allowed, because I'm not really sure I know what I'm stuck on there. Hey, calm down there, sir. I'm delivering butter that you probably buy once in a while. Alright, let's go get the mayonnaise. Part of me would like to go back and do something like I did on No Man's Land and FS19. The problem is those episodes took a lot of time. Some of them. I would say half of them took a lot of time to make like a half-hour to an hour episode. Between the recording and the editing, some of those episodes took me like 10, 11 hours, which is just... Back then I was having a lot of fun doing it, but I think if I were to take 10 or 11 hours to make a half-hour episode now, I'd be exhausted. Alright, so usually I load these up with a pallet fork, but today, not so much. So I'll get this mayonnaise all sold in one trip. It's going to be fun when I get up there, because getting to the trigger point to sell this stuff is a little bit of an issue. The one thing I really remember about the No Man's Land in 19 and then going over to Wither Farms map, I had more of the storyline written down, but then one day I just logged in and my character and the frame rate was at 1, and I couldn't move the character. And I was like, oh, this is not good. So I tried to eliminate one mod at a time, and I eventually had basically all the mods off, and it was still doing it. I was like, okay, that's not good. So I tried an older save file, and all my older save files were doing it. I couldn't figure out what was causing the problem, so I had to end pretty much that whole storyline. I didn't have an ending written for that storyline. The one thing I still, every once in a while, I will get a comment on those episodes. And people ask, like, what mod I use to get the ground or the earthquake to happen. Well, I'm glad you like that. Well, at least on the No Man's Land side of the storyline. Alright, so to get to the mayonnaise sell point at the bar and grill, we got to go in here. I think that was also the same series the first time I teleported from one map to another. Using the portal. Alright, so I gotta get... This is the tricky part of getting this sold here. I think I can drive through this hedge, right? Not the tree, but the hedge I can drive through. Yeah, sold it all. Look at that. Right at a quarter, well, just a little bit over $250,000, but $250,000 and $20. I remember the first time I did the... Well, when I was thinking about using, like, a portal. There might be some people in this live stream right now going on, what are these guys talking about? But the first time I used the portal on that No Man's Land and it back in FS19, when I used a portal going from one map to another, how to get that to work, I think I spent about 4 or 5 days figuring out how to edit that. I'm not sure if I could, if I had to do that over again, I'd probably have to redo the research on how to edit a portal going from one map to another to make it look good. So now we want the John Deere 710, is it? Yeah, 710. With our soil sampler, because now we got some cash. Where's the entryway? Okay, the entryway to this field is here. So the good part of the field, soil type, should be at this end. And our farmhouse is going to go down here. For a second there, I thought I left a pallet of peas here. I was like, no, that's my harvester. Can I get this all in one go? You know what? Close enough. That corner of the field, that's not going to get used anyway, so we'll go ahead and just do this. And send off those samples. Also, this field need to be, yeah, it says it needs plowing everywhere. But no sense of plowing the field until I know where everything's going to go. Two of your fields plant like a zebra. Did you skip rows? The 710. Our first purchase. Well, our first purchase was a fishing pole. But then I purchased a 710. And then I think I purchased a fertilizer spreader, I think. Alright, we need to activate flight mode. So we're going to come over to here. Oh, I probably need to move that. First off, how much is my farmhouse? I think it's in here. Oh, the farmhouse is only 95,000. Alright. I need to move this harvester, though. Oh, start the engine. Can we fold this up? V is the lift harvester. Alright. And then I guess there is no folding up. I don't see... Oh, fold harvester is B. I thought B was activate. So again, we'll be using this harvester once I do sugar beet, but that'll be next farming season, year number 12. No, we're not doing a constructible house. Just going to put this down over here because the sugar beet should be going in this corner here. I think the grapes are going to go over there. I might be able to afford... So the house is a lot cheaper than I thought it was. But I might be able to afford the house and the winery so I can see the recipe itself. But what we need to do, we need to come into construction. We need to come down here and we need to flatten this out. That's going to be very key. And don't worry about, oh, it's not even here, it's not even there. As long as it's flat where the house goes, that's very important. Because of the swimming pool. And I got free landscaping tool on, so I'm not paying for landscaping. Alright, sheds, houses, pool. I think we'll face it like this. Usually your pool, you want it kind of like a private pool. So we're going to do it like right there. Alright, then we can swing around to here. We'll come back and decorate that in just a moment. But now the hobo hut can be sold. Also, we're going to... I could move that, but for what it costs, we're just going to sell it. Of course, I am going to have to move all of this. So that leaves me with 150. Oh, that might be just a little bit too much. Well, 145,000 for this. I would need to move. You know what? I could take a little bit of this grass field. Yeah, let's go ahead and we'll cover up this grass field a little bit. That way, kind of leaves my entryway there as is. So let's go ahead and do this and this, and we will. So we are losing a little bit of grass. All right, that should be okay-ish. Hopefully I can get rid of the bushes that are there. If I go to the cobblestone. Oh, I'll get rid of the bushes. Okay. Yeah, get rid of the bushes there. And if I were to spin it around, I just want to see how it looks. Ooh. See, that's why I don't like it, because that corner piece, that did that to that road there. Well, that could be a problem. Hopefully I can... Ooh, I may not be able to do that. I might be able to fix that a little bit. All right, that'll be fine. That will be fine. We want to then do this. Smooth that out here as much as possible. This as well. All right, so that's the drop-off point, and I assume that's where the pallets are going to be. So now we can go in and see if I go to productions, the winery. So we can do honey, water. Honey and water will get us honey wine. Honey, strawberry, water, and sugar will get us strawberry strawberry wine, I guess we'll call it. And regular wine is 40 grapes, 20 sugar gives us 40 wine. Well, we know grapes. Boy, I'm going to need a lot of grapes then. Sugar, not going to be a problem. We can get a lot of sugar. It's the amount of grapes. So I'm going to need a lot of grapevines, I think. Again, we're just trying out this. This mod is a third-party mod. You're not going to find this on the mod hub. You have to search. If you go like Google and search this Farming Simulator 25 winery mod, there are a couple out there. But yeah, this is what we're going to be trying. I could do some. I'm not sure if I want to get involved with the honey. I think we'll just stick to the wine and sugar part of it. But at least now we can see the recipe. American Falls only used a tent. Yeah, people... wait, did I do the whole series in a tent? Yes. The tent was next to one of the sheds. Well, at least here we had a hobo hut. I want to smooth this out. Make it look more natural. Watch out for the pool, though. We don't want to deform the pool and get some land showing in the pool. All right, and I think we're going to, well, I shouldn't say think. Let's go ahead and get some, this grass. Obviously, it's not grass, it's a grass texture, but we don't want the sand everywhere. Also, we're not going to have a field over here. Driveway we will keep there. Let's fill this in. Is there another grass texture? That one's a little bit darker, but I think I might grass cut. Maybe grass cut is what I want to go with. All right, and then we'll go over to plants, meadow grass, meadow grass, meadow grass. I think it's this one here, right? Yeah, we want some short grass. Can change up later if we want to. This is just starting of the decoration of the house area. I need to get to do some farming here. But this will be the big step of the day. Now, as far as Sam goes, let's get down to ground level and see what it kind of looks like now. Hey, that looks better. So that ground level looks a lot better. If you haven't seen this house before, this is on the mod hub, this house. But yeah, you got yourself a swimming pool. Oh, I got some grass growing through there. I'll have to take care of that. But, yeah. Nice little heated pool to relax in. You can go inside because the triggers are in here. It's hard to get some doors to open and not close. There's the sleep trigger. There is, I don't remember where the, oh, that's where you change your character, right there. We got a bathroom, kids' room. Let's open up both of the doors because it's a beautiful day. Get a nice little cross breeze going in here. But yeah, now we got ourselves a true house to sleep in. As far as Sam goes, we're going to leave Sam over here because I want him running around the farmyard. But, you know, don't get me wrong. When we go to bed, Sam's coming with us. Sam's allowed in the house when he wants, you know, if he wants to come on in. So here is our winery. Now that we know kind of exactly what we need, I still need to put down another factory. I need a sugar processing plant. So when we harvest the sugar beet, that needs to go into the sugar processing plant. That's going to cost like $50,000. So not too expensive. And then I just got to be able to buy. I don't think I can put in. Grapes grow in the springtime, but you can't. I wish you could put them in now, but I think it's going to tell me it's the wrong growing season. Construction. Where is that? Factories, selling points. Oh, here we go. I think if I wanted to, crop cannot be planted in September, so I have to wait until the springtime. But I think we're going to plant the grapes all along here. And we'll have like a little bit of the field for sugar beet. Now, when I put in the grapes don't need to be in a field. So I'm probably going to texture this as a grass field. And then put the grapes down, and then all of the sugar beet are going to be down here. Actually, if I go into precision farming, and we go, so soil type here. This should be decent soil here. Sandy loam is not bad. Yeah, sandy loam is not bad. So it's going to look terrible here because that's where the tram lines were. So yeah, the sugar beet is going to be in like this area, and all the grapes are going to be in this area here. That is the plan. This field will need to be plowed where the sugar beet is going to go to get that up. But we'll get that at a little bit later date. Already spent $250,000, and I need to bring some more money back in. So I guess I could have left that hut there. But I'm thinking I might place that hut, because guess what? I just realized I need that. I need to buy some lime. Is that under silos? I forgot what this is under. Is it under container? It's under containers. I don't want the reduced price. I want the standard price of buying stuff. And we're going to spit that out right over here, I think. Right next to the toolbox would be a good place for it. Overlaps with another object. Not if I hit that button, it doesn't. Are you kind of lined up with that shed? Almost. There we go. And while I'm here, because we're going to be driving in and out of this area, let's go to the cobblestone. And yeah, we're just going to go ahead and just leave a couple of patches of grass growing there, so it looks like it's coming up through the cobblestone a little bit. There we go. So we drive in and out here. That is good to go. All right, let's get some farming done. I haven't really used the Kubota much today. Yes, that's the same house that we had a New Hope at the end. This is almost full of lime, but we'll top it off. We gotta watch out for that corner now. So yeah, we're going to keep these grass fields, of course, at this point. Why are we going so slow here? It's almost like this tractor's having a hard time pulling this thing. It's almost like I sunk into the ground a bit. When I went over that bridge, it's almost like it reset the wheels or something and started taking off. All right, I'll bring up the mini map so that way we can see the change in pH value. Ideally, you want to get this done before you plant, but since I was kind of broke at the time, and I'm glad we waited because we got a lot more for the butter and the mayonnaise. But now I'm kind of broke again. When we started New Hope, that house and pool was the first thing I put down. It was like the house is usually the last thing I put down. But I definitely want to decorate more around the farmhouse. I'm happy we got the farmhouse and the winery down today. We can kind of see how it's all coming together. Again, when I started on this series, the winery wasn't really part of my plans. But I pretty much got everything done I wanted to on this map in the way we started. And now we're just kind of goofing around, having some fun with some other things. Again, we're in France, so making mustard, making mayonnaise. And I was like, at that point, you know what? Let's go ahead and do some wine while we're in France. So yeah, once we get that down, the last thing I probably will be purchasing will be the BGA. Because I have purchased BGAs. Riverbend Springs, I purchased a BGA, but never used it. That was like the last thing I did in my last live stream on Riverbend Springs. I have used, I think the map was called Riverview. Wow, Riverview by Cavalier Roy. Is it Riverview? We had the BGA there. His BGA on the map. But yeah, I want to buy the BGA here, which is like 800,000, which seems like a lot, but as you just saw, we just sold some butter and mayonnaise and made $250,000, so it's not that far out of reach. But I will need a grape harvester, and I'm going to go, since they are not that much horsepower, we can go ahead and get one of those. Run into the same issue with a modded lime spreader on Riverbend, to where in one certain spot I go slower than heck for no reason. I noticed that in yesterday's stream I had a couple points where the tractor all of a sudden just slowed down to like 12, and looked like the tires were under the surface a tad. And I'm not sure what happened there. Let's see if I go through here. Does it slow back down to 14 miles an hour, or do I stay at... I mean, obviously I got a lot less lime in the back. All right, I gotta fix that corner. There's a hump there that needs to be taken care of. Actually, that kind of caught me off guard, even though I just put it down like, wait, what the heck's over there? That's the house you just put down. You play 130 hours on a map without something being over there, and now it just catches your eye every 2 seconds. So the one issue I'm having, I don't know if it's the map or it's the drills I'm using. But again, when I drill a field, personally, we don't hardly get any weeds in the field. Using the same drill and tractor, if I hire a worker, we get loads of weeds. And I think it has something to do with the rollers on the back of the drill. Maybe killing the weeds as I plant. That's what I'm going to stick with on that story. See if this field needed some lime also. The free landscaping tool is available on the mod hub. I'm not sure if it's available for console players. That might be a PC only mod. Now there are a couple mods out there. You got the free landscaping tool, which you don't have to pay to do landscaping. And there's another one out there that's landscaping anywhere, which means you can landscape even on property that you don't own. And I always use both. I just don't like having to pay for landscaping in the game because everything else I play in hard mode and everything. When it comes to landscaping, I kind of like to just landscape and not have to worry about the financial side of things when it comes to that. All of the mods that you see me using are on the mod hub except for the winery I just put down. I used to use a lot of third-party mods, but then people would blame me if they downloaded that third-party mod and they'd tell me, well, because you used it and you told me where to get it. Now I got a virus or whatever. So I tried not to use third-party mods too much because I don't want to get asked too many questions. Hello, Klaus. Have no idea what you said, but welcome. Unfortunately, I'm an American, so I only speak two languages, and that's English and bad English. Okay, I know a little bit of Spanish. And I'm ashamed to say I don't know hardly any French, even though I live that close to Quebec. I'm not going to have enough lime to finish off this field, but luckily lime is cheap. I can afford it. What was the mod I used on Hills of Tuscany for repairing vehicles? Well, that was an FS22. And as far as I know, when I left that series, the only place to get that mod at that time was on GitHub. I don't know if that mod ever made it to the mod hub in 22. Now, as a few people mentioned a couple weeks ago, there's been a few mods on 25 that came out that are kind of similar to what they were trying to do in FS22. It might even be the same mod author. I don't know. But on the one on the hills of Tuscany, the only place I knew where to get it was on the GitHub. I did not see it on third-party websites or whatever because it was always a work in progress. You want to get up that bridge there, sir? There we go. The thing is, though, I do need to refill the seeder, and at $2,800, that's not going to be enough to refill it with seed and fertilizer. Good news is, though, we do still have some butter. What was it, like 11 pallets of butter? We'll have to go grab that butter and sell it. So I can plant my winter wheat and barley. Get ourselves a bird's eye view so I can see where, visually it's much easier to see where we were. As I was talking about yesterday, because the question does come up a little bit now and then, but if you're wondering how much longer we're going to be staying here in Pichonniere Valley, depends on how the winery goes, but I want to give that at least 2 seasons, so I'm thinking at least a year 13. Use Google Translate. I can't picture why someone would come in. Well, I can understand why some people would come in here and be like that, but it's Farming Simulator. What's there to be upset about? Alright, so this field should be in pretty darn good shape. But now we need to grab our Fent again and go grab that butter. Get some money so I can afford to buy some seed and fertilizer. Okay, where did I leave you? Over here. And how much money am I going to get for it? Make sure it is worth my while to go get it. I got $20,000 worth of butter. So that's pretty good. Alright, we're off to see the wizard, the wonderful wizard of butter. Is that... Sam is way over in that field. Sam is expanding his boundaries a little bit too much. He's from the Netherlands and was sending his best regards. And we can see one of the NPC farmers, they're using a Mercedes and a mower, but they're having a problem with the fence here, as many of the workers do have a problem with the fences on Pichonniere Valley. So I think aren't grapes harvested like September, October-ish, so I got 1 year, which is not going to be a problem, to be able to afford a grape harvester. So, I'm also going to need a planter for sugar beet. Again, I can't lease or borrow on this series. That's one of the rules. Yes, I don't remember how well grapes yield. So I think the last time I did grapes was Hills of Tuscany. I did a little bit of olives on Chambergo, but those were olive trees, not bushes, Olive Grove. And I did a little bit of olives on Dark Forest. But I have not done grapes in quite a while. Looks like we made a little bit more butter since we've been here this morning. Just slide those over. Hey, I made it out of the door without clipping for a change today. Alright, throw the beacons on. And back up to the bar and grill. Bar and grill's got so much butter. They should be good for another, well, at least until December, I would hope. No, grapes and olives, the yields are very low and the profit margin is marginable at best. There are certain things in Farming Simulator where you just make loads of money on. And then there's other things like horses, olives, grapes, where you question why you're doing it other than just to have fun with it. Yeah, if you're doing grapes or olives, you better be doing like olive oil or making raisins and grape juice. If you're just selling it the product as raw, I want to say when I was doing olives on Dark Forest, I think I said with the money I put into it, it's going to take me 10 farming years to get my money back. Now, obviously, if you do a bigger orchard or grove, the profit's going to go up, but it's also tedious work, as some find it. And hello, Robert from Reno, Nevada. Hope you're having a good Tuesday. Actually, after I sell this, I need to... I guess I'll grab the Kubota and we'll grab the slurry tanker and we'll put some more... We'll put slurry on the 3 fields I'm getting ready to plant. Being winter wheat and barley, those crops take a lot of fertilizer, so... It's going to benefit us from doing that. But thanks for the translation, Branding. I figured it was something that was nothing too bad, because if they were... Oh, you're actually going to wait for those people to cross the road. Because if they were in here trying to cause trouble, they wouldn't have stopped just by saying a couple of things. They would have just kept on going on about it. All right, back up to 25,000. So, started the stream today with, well, we had just under $1,000. Then we slept through the night. We had $1,000 in debt. Then we had $250,000, but then we bought a house and a winery. Got back down to what we were down to, like $5,000. Now we're back up to 25. What gives the highest yield, sugar cane or sugar beet? It's been a while since I've done sugar cane, but both yield very high. But I would say, though, if you just use base game stuff, the sugarcane harvester, base game harvester, sucks. Okay, let me rephrase that. It does what it's supposed to do, but it'll take you forever to harvest sugarcane. Unless you use a mod. But if you're going to make sugar, I would say sugar beet, probably the easiest way to go. The good thing about sugar cane is sugar cane will regrow for 3 years. Well, I mean, you plant it, it'll grow. Then after you harvest it, it'll grow back 2 more times. What is better, dairy or beef cows for money? Dairy cattle. But as long as you got the dairy production. Dairy cattle will just make you loads of cash with the dairy production. What have I done? That's the wrong trailer. I want this trailer. Oh, that does remind me. I need to make some TMR. Let me get this set up and move down here so I know enough that I need to make a mixture. If I leave it down here by the shed. I did a little of the beef cattle with the Highland cattle on Kingley. I mean, there is slight money there, but not a whole lot. But if you do like water buffalo and milking cows, and you got dairy production, yeah, you'll make loads of money that way. If I bring up the mini map, because I have put some slurry down in this field. Looks like I ended up right where this entryway is. So yeah, a little while ago, about an hour ago, I was putting slurry down in the rain, and boy, driving in a field during the rainstorm slowed us down quite a bit. The farm has changed quite a bit in the last two streams, today and yesterday. No, I have not tried the new mud mod. I don't know if it's the same one from 22 and 19. It's one of those things that I think I would enjoy it at first, but as it went along, it might get a little annoying to get stuck. If I want to get stuck, I'll go play SnowRunner, which I'll be doing on Thursday. I'll have a look at the sale page. I would flip out if there was a grape harvester in there. Yeah, we got two Roberts in chat. We had, well, we have two Miles here as well. Actually, I'm just kind of concerned because John is not here today, and John hardly ever misses a stream unless he announces beforehand. It's already 1 o'clock in the afternoon in September, and I got 3 fields to still get to. It's not crucial that I get them all done this month. I think I can plant in October also. I'm going to call that good enough at that end. So putting down some liquid slurry before I drill, it just reduces the amount of artificial fertilizer I got to put in. And the cows are making plenty of slurry. That's why having the BGA would come in helpful at some point. I don't think I'll ever get my money back on the BGA once I do buy it, but someone put a wall there. All right, let's... Yeah, the John Deere is down here. So we're going to make a TMR mixture for the cows. Turn that on. 2 silage, 2 hay, 1 straw. If I can do it like this, we'll grab that one there. And then poke that one there-ish. Wrapper and all. Alright, and then 1 straw bale. get back in there. Perfect. Ooh, did I grab that one hay bale that's not... Alright, it is classified as TMR, so I'm going to rock with it. I kind of forgot that it hit me just at the moment. Like, that doesn't look like the right amount of total I should have in there. When I made the hay bales, I think I had one that was only a third of a bale, of a hay bale. But that mixture is still technically good, as far as the game is concerned. And that should automatically feed. And they're happy. Alright, let's grab the Fent. Drop off the dolly trailer. Where did I leave that drill? Oh, right in front of me. It's on the other side. The lime spreader is trying to hide. Solid fertilizer, fill up. And seed, fill up. Alright, what field is this? This is field 36, and it was winter barley. 36 winter barley. 36 winter barley, winter wheat, 120. So winter wheat is what's going in here. I didn't check to see if it needed pH. Kind of does. Well, all the fields seem to be needing everything. Well, we'll have to get that done. I guess I could do it this month. I mean, why not? Just add it to the list. Yep, straw is just a filler. But the mixture was showing good enough, so I rolled with it. But 2 full bales of hay and silage and 1 bale of straw is what we always do for what our setup is. So the only thing is now I'm probably not going to be selling anything again until December, when the butter and mayonnaise are going to be good again, along with the peas, because we got a good amount of peas. And also we probably got some grain I can sell also. I don't need as much for the chickens as we do have. Mustard won't be good until next March. Yeah, so with the winery, I'm not sure if I want to do honey wine. Although, having the bees around canola fields will increase the yield of the canola. Yeah, words are rough. Increase the yield of the canola. But the problem is, since we rotate our fields, it's not always going to be in the same spot. And really, to make it worth our while, I probably have to put down a lot of beehives. We did some beehives on fresh stocks. I think that was the fresh stocks was the first modded map I went to after Riverbend Springs. And we had a lot of beehives, but wasn't getting that much honey for the amount of beehives that we had. We've come a long ways in this series with, I am going to say with a fishing pole, because that was really our first way of getting income. Did a good amount of fishing before we could afford the John Deere 710 for like $7 grand. And then we bought ourselves a, I can't remember if it was a cultivator or fertilizer spreader, but I know it was those two implements that allowed us to do contracts, which then led us to buying our own land. So since I'm the one drilling this field, I'm not going to get many weeds. And again, I think it has to do with the disc on the back of this. The rollers. I think the rollers are killing the weeds from driving over them. I don't know how the fishing is done with console players, Bob, but at least on PC it's not too difficult. But I mean, if you got bad arthritis in your hand and you got to keep that hook in between the bars, I guess it could be somewhat complicated and hard to catch fish. Seems like the last two streams we've just been stuck in these 2 months. But they are busy months. I feel like I've been rushed this whole farming season. Harvest was kind of a gotta get it done because the rain's coming. And I didn't really have time to really flip over the fields, and we're trying to get them planted in the first month possible. The winter wheat barley is not too crucial, but the canola fields definitely, because the sooner I get the canola harvested, the sooner we get more canola oil, and the sooner we can get more mayonnaise ready for October or September, because the price was really good this month. Alright, that field is planted, but it could use some lime. Let's go ahead and just park this right here. So that leaves 2 more fields. This one over here, I don't know if I did the crop rotation on it. I think I did in yesterday's stream, but I forgot what's going to go in here. I'm going to assume it's going to be winter wheat or barley. So this is field 24, and it was winter wheat. So if you look at field 24, winter wheat, and yeah, winter barley goes in here next before canola. And then that leaves this field over here, which was canola. Field 65, canola. Winter barley goes in there. So winter barley in that one. Wait, was it winter barley in both? You were just there. Yeah, it has to be, because that was wheat. So winter barley needs to be planted in both fields. For some reason, OBS was throwing some stuff at me, which I don't know why. Still live, though. Yeah, looks like we're still live. So, yeah. Big purchase today is this. We need to do some texturing around here, though. That doesn't do sugar beet. Not that I would want that. Construction, cobblestone. And we got to get to match the rest of the place, right? We'll do this right here. A little bit of that right there. This corner needs to be taken care of a little bit. That's a little bit better. Not a whole lot better, but it's better. All right, that fits in. And, of course, we got our house over here as well. Yeah, so I am thinking the way it was. Let me do this now, actually. Let's go in and we're going to grab... I think I grabbed this one here. Make that as big as possible, and we'll do this. I'm going to come out to at least this, out to this tram line here. Because I think we're going to need more grapes than sugar beet. There we go. And then we'll throw in the short grass. Don't know how expensive it's going to be putting in the grapes, but I assume it's not going to be cheap. I think maybe the driveway to the house, I may just run out to here, but I'm going to leave it like that for now. So all this will be grapes up to the house, somewhere like right about there. This will all be grapevines. Don't know what I expect for a yield. Maybe like 10,000 liters of grapes. Something like that. And then the sugar beet would be over here. Like I said, we still got one more production to put down. That's going to be the sugar mill. And I might be able to stick that. Trying to figure out how I would put this without it being in the way of the yard and also not being in the way of Sam's doghouse too much. I don't care what the spawn point's going to be, actually, because that's going to be just distributed right to the winery anyways. So I could just put it down like so, where the hobo hut was. Yeah, I think that'll look fine, just like right there. So that's where that's going to go. That's going to cost me $50,000. So I need $50,000 for this. I need about $250,000 for the grape harvester. Where are those again? Let me just try to get some numbers in my head here. 3,100 liters. That holds almost 4,000 for a couple more. That's going to raise the price now for grapes. Engine set up. If I go with the biggest engine, not that I need it. I mean, that could get rather expensive on that. The other thing that we will need is a planter for sugar beet. And we don't need nothing too big. Do I have... Oh, I got this mod as Stara. Yeah, we could do that. And that is a direct drill, so that's going to help out with precision farming. Only requires 110 horsepower. And we could also get into some sunflowers. Although I would need a sunflower harvester for the combine. But obviously sunflowers into sunflower oil. So it puts another crop into the rotation. At least. Alright, so about 110. About 400 grand more is what we need. Okay, that's a little scary. But like I said, worst comes to worst, if I want to get rid of the grape harvester, and again, also, I'm not going to be doing a whole bunch of spraying for the grapes, I don't think. We'll have to see how we get along with that. Actually, I don't even know how much the sprayers are. Is that going to be under this category? No. What category is that under? Grape tools? Probably this right here. Oh, yeah, and also that means we also going to have to prune the grapes as well. Forgot about that. Uh, that does, I think, 4 rows. Working with is 9.5 meters. That's 4 meters. I forgot about pruning the vines off the grapes every year. That's only $230, but we're going to have a lot of... Well, I got to... I'll just have to wait and see how many vines we have. I'll worry about that next spring. But boy, this looks a lot different over here now that we're tooling it over to become a spot for our winery. But yeah, it's all coming together. I just need a little bit more cash. I'm spending as fast as we're bringing it in. But we are going to decorate more around the farmhouse further on down the road. But as for today, getting it in and at least having a good-looking yard, I'm okay with it. Maybe Sam will come over and take a dip into the pool with us, as one does in their full swimming with jeans. That's got to be the worst idea ever. But a good way to cool off. But that is where I'm going to wrap it up for today. Got a lot done. Still a lot more to do in this farming year, but I think I'm catching up to it. Boy, it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I got 2 more fields to plant. So 2 more fields to fertilize, drill, and lime spread. But again, at least like I said, with the winter barley, it's not a rush to get in September. I should be able to plant that in October as well. Let me just double check on this. Winter barley, yeah, we also can do it in October as well. So I got next month to get it done, so not a huge rush. But yeah, that's where we're going to wrap it up for today. Like I said, no stream on Wednesdays, but you do have an episode of City Skylines 2, if that's your thing. That'll be out tomorrow. If you're a channel member, you already got access to it Thursday. I plan on streaming SnowRunner Season 17. We're trying to... we're getting things done there, trying to finish up Season 17 before Season 18 comes along by the end of the month. So, yeah, I'll be back streaming on Thursday with some SnowRunner. And if you're not around for SnowRunner Friday, you'll have an episode of Transport Fever 2, which I hopefully will get to record later on tonight or tomorrow. And I'll probably also be streaming SnowRunner again on Friday as well. But that's as far as I got planned for now. As for being back here in Pichonniere Valley, probably next Monday. I think I'm going to, unless my schedule changed, but I mentioned earlier in the stream, my schedule, I don't like to plan it because sometimes games pop up in my emails that I like to get to. But I'm probably going to try to stream Farm Sim 25s on Mondays and Tuesdays and do SnowRunners on Thursdays and Fridays and Saturdays. If I do stream on Saturdays, we'll figure it out further on down the road. But that's the plan moving forward for now. But I appreciate you being here on a Tuesday for some farming on Pichonniere Valley. Got a nice cozy house now to live in, not the hobo hut. And now we got the winery down already as well. So, yeah, the farm's going to change a little bit more next season. But yeah, I'm going to jump out of here. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. Have a good Wednesday. And hopefully I'll see you all on Thursday. But until then, have a good one.